Oh, bro, I'm low-key faded, bro.
Highway.
What's this guy supposed to be, the ultimate badass?
They ain't ready. They ain't ready, Joe. They ain't ready. Here we go.
I'm gonna go almond around here, guys.
I was like, what is it? You look Mexican. What is that?
Kind of looks it a little bit though, so I dig a little deep in there, right? But yeah, we got that. You did that.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the next episode of the Frisco Report Cowboys podcast. I'm your host, Joe Rodriguez, and my co-host, the right-hand man, Cowboys Corner. Mike, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, you guys? Sorry if there's an echo. Got to soundproof the room. Joe gave me some pointers on how to do it. We're going to do it.
We are, and today we're going to talk about the draft, baby. Mainly, we're going to talk about, was this a hit or a miss for Brian Schottenheimer's first draft class, bro? Was it a success or was it a complete utter bust? All right, so Mike, we'll recap here. The picks, what's your thought on the first round pick, Tyler Booker? Let's go round by round here real quick.
When you hire guys like Clayton Adams, you get guys in here like Connor Riley, you're setting the tone of physicality, right? And Schottenheimer did it in Seattle's offensive coordinator, which was Russell Wilson's best year professionally, right? So you look at it as a whole, and it's like, okay, the Tyler Booker pick is setting this up. They're putting their money where their mouth is, Joe. And that's what we wanted. I mean, you turn on the tape and you look at Tyler Booker at Alabama. The dude is phenomenal. He's getting people off the line. His run blocking is probably the best in this draft, to be honest with you. But I like the Tyler Booker pick because they set the tone and they capitalized on it.
Indeed it was, bro. Yeah. So, yeah, we talked about it, bro. We nailed it. Everybody was concentrating on Tedero McMillan, the future bust of bust. That we knew that the Cowboys were going to pivot, Mike, and all the credit to you in the world goes to you, man, because you called it. Cowboys draft wide receivers in the first round every 10 years. It is a fact. And that's their MO, bro. So, yeah, the offensive line made sense. I was hoping they would have got somebody else, to be honest. I liked Donovan Jackson. I liked Josh Connerly. Even Josh Simmons I had above Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker, I had him towards the bottom myself personally. It's a wait and see for me. You know what I mean? I like what he's saying. You know what I mean? But being that he's coming from a offensive line bust factory, all right, I do really I will be scrutinizing it and making sure that this pick stays on track. I mean, it looks like he will be. And it looks like the Cowboys front office has all the faith in the world in him, already naming him basically, the starter day one, Mike. So that's pretty amazing in itself. Normally they say there's going to be competition, but they've already said day one starter, bro.
And that's not surprising. I mean, you look at it, Zach Martin retired. They got his replacement. And I like that we're not fiddle-farting around with this and trying to get undrafted free agent guys in here like TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman, Terrence Steele. These guys that try to plug and play and maybe get lucky. I like the fact that they're trying to replace Zach Martin now. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, go do it again. But you have to take care of that. That was a big hole that you don't have with Zach Martin no more. Can Tyler Booker be it? To be determined. But I like that they didn't fiddle fart with it. They identified the need, and they capitalized on it.
I want me some glory hole.
Yeah, man. The pick should be good, Mike. It's bolstering the offensive line. I mean, already, Booker already is better than what they would have had there. I didn't want to see Brock Hoffman, Bass, one of these wash up guys that they signed in free agency. So that's good, man. Moving on to the second round pick, Mike. Donovan Izaraku, the pass rushing specialist at DPR. What's your thought on the second round pick, Mike, on Donovan out of Boston College?
The dude can get sacks. I mean, he can get sacks. He had 62 quarterbacks, which led the FBS from edge last year. So the guy can get to the quarterback, and that's the name of the game, especially at the edge at the edge spot. You can get to the quarterback. Get to the court. I don't want to see no fancy, moving him around and have him do this, have him do that. Put him at edge, do what he's best at, team him up with Micah Parsons, and go sack Jalen Hurts. Go sack Jaden Daniel. These young, fresh, running, mobile quarterbacks. Make them be a pocket passer. You have a better chance at winning.
Yeah, man, we got to make them pay, bro, because a lot of these times they've had to dissect the secondary. It can't just be Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons tends to wear down towards the last few games of the season when you need him in that playoff rush, that playoff run. So bringing in here a legitimate pass rusher in the second round, I think was a pretty good steal for the Cowboys. Pretty good draft class here, but definitely has the production. Coming out of the ACC, Boston College, as I said, has the mentionables, right? The long arms, Cowboys like that, and I should be able to get sacks. Something that DeMarcus Lawrence kind of struggled with last few seasons. Being able to, besides stop the run, sacks. D-Law just wasn't getting it done at the end of his career, Mike. So I like that pick, man. I think it was one of my more favorite picks, to be quite honest. Donovan Izaraku. All right. Third round, Mike. Here's where the shit got goofy. All right. Third round. I am now calling this the Dr. Cooper special, bro. All right. And I've already said this a couple of times on my channel, so I won't go over it again. But Mike, we get another injured player here. All right. And that's the gist of it, right? Supposedly he's a steal. Could have been a first rounder by some, but you get him here in the third round. What's your thoughts on Sidon Riddle?
Trayvon Diggs coming back from a knee injury. Then you draft a guy coming back from a knee injury, knee surgeries, both of them. Deron Bland coming off, he was hurt last year too. So your corners, are we getting injury prone there, Joe? I mean, that's what we really have to look at. And I like how physical he is playing corner. I like that he can keep up with wide receivers. There's a lot of reward here, but it's all right here on those ACL injuries. And can he bounce back mentally? If he can bounce back mentally, it's a good pick. It is, and it wasn't a second round gamble. It was a third round gamble. Did they move those rounds? And that's what it boils down to. But I do like the reward aspect of it, but it has to show up.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we'll find that out pretty there. You know what I mean? Is he going to be the real deal? Is he recovered from those knee injuries? So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. But in the future, I really would hope get away from these Dr. Cooper specials. It just means you're getting an injured player, banged up player, right? We have a super chat here, Mike. Before we get to the next round, we have one from my brother. I hope get Amari Cooper. I know he's older now, but it would not only fill our wide receiver 2 hole, It would also make up for us not drafting a receiver this year, Mike. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, you go back to our day 2 draft live coverage. Big shout out to Joe. That was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
And thank you for all you guys tuning in. But in day 2, at the end of it, we said the free agents, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, these guys are probably going to be a Cowboy because they're not drafting a wide receiver. And lo and behold, they just didn't do it. So Amari Cooper's familiar with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott needs for that to come in here and to whether it be somewhat fluid. Remember, it was a contract issue. It wasn't a quarterback wide receiver issue. So if Amari Cooper and Dak can stay on that same page, I know it's been a couple of years, but if they can stay on the same page, I like Amari Cooper as our number 2 just because that chemistry's there.
Yeah. That's going to come down to me, do they want to spend some money? You know what I mean? Do they want to spend some money and maybe get somebody else? You know, do they want to make that trade, you know, to throw multiple picks at a wide receiver on somebody else's roster? You know what I mean? But, you know, if you get Cooper, you know, you're getting a player who's obviously a little older, you know what I mean? And he won't be the same player that we had when we had him. But would he be better than what you have right now on the roster? To me, the answer would be yes. You know, better route runner than Jalen Tolbert, faster than Jalen Tolbert. You know what I mean? And you can expect him to miss some games. Yes, that'll be true. But it just would help the Cowboys' offense and their ability to be competitive, to have a legit person opposite of CeeDee Lamb. You know what I mean?
100%. I mean, I would love for them to go draft, you know, Burden or Ibuka, you know, but they didn't do it. And so this is what we're stuck with. But I would take Amari over Keenan Allen just for the chemistry between Coop and Dak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just bring somebody in here. Somebody of a decent stature. Somebody who can play this game, dude, at a high level. I think it'll be good to bring in somebody else in here to help out besides, you know, what we already have. Mike, we didn't have the 4th round pick again. Cowboys did, in fact, let it bleed all the way out. All right, so we waited and waited, bro, till the 5th round, and the Cowboys got the running back here, Mike. Jaydon Blue, all right, the speed running back from Texas. What's your thoughts on that one, bro?
Yeah, we talked about Jaydon Blue. Was it day 1 of the draft coverage? Someone asked about him. You had a really good breakdown on him. I like his speed. I think you compared him to a Tony Pollard type player. And, you know, watching what he was able to do at Texas and I kind of see the similarities that you've seen there, Joe. I do like his height. I think he's 5'11 and a half, almost 6 foot. I like that. I don't want any, you know, I know Genty's 5'10", whatever. Give me a 6 foot back, and Jaydon Blue almost meets that. He did have some fumbling issues. He does have some fumbling issues. I know he fumbled in a game that cost him going to the championship, I think. If my memory serves me right, or maybe it cost him the championship. Something happened there, but he needs to clean up those fumbles, be reliable, and he can make plays.
Yeah, and that's something that can be cleaned up here. You know, holding the ball differently. Obviously, that'll be coaching. That'll be the running back coach that should get that fixed, man. High and tight, right? We've seen running backs able to turn it around. I think the one that really stood out to me as somebody that was a fumbler and that turned it around was Mickey Barber, running back from the Giants. They were about to cut this dude. You know, just fumbled a lot for the Giants. He did something in the offseason, during the season, and really fixed the way he held the ball and wasn't fumbling anymore. So it can be done. You know what I mean? It's a proven thing. It's just, are you coachable? And will you do what you're being told to do? You know what I mean? So, yeah, you can't have fumbles, man. You start fumbling the ball here in the pros, and you'll be sitting down, you know, real quick. So, I love the pick, though, man. I would say outside of Donovan, Jaydon Blue is is probably 1A 1B type. For my favorite pick, I think. For me, he is part one of a part two 1-2 punch. This year they'll go with him and one of the vets. Next year, draft you that other piece. All right, so I'm excited to what he'll do, man, especially out of the backfield. And if this O-line opens up holes, he has the ability to take it home all the way, a home run hitter, right, Mike?
Yeah, 100%. That's what you need. I don't want to have Zeke in there. I don't want Rico Dowdle being, week 10 and then he's finally getting reps. Give me the best 2 running backs, share the reps, have an RB1, and go to work. This is what we need. We don't need any of this inconsistency crap that Mike McCarthy did. Schottenheimer, I hope you learn from his mistakes. Let's keep the ball moving.
Yeah. No, that's what it is, bro. That's what it's got to be. Next, Mike, Cowboys actually moved up to get this linebacker. You know what I mean? They made a trade. They moved up, and I was like, man, who the hell are they moving up to get, bro? Excite me with something. Shamar James, bro. Linebacker out of Florida. I'm kind of lukewarm on this one. You know what I mean? I think that he has the ability to be in rotation. You know what I mean? But nothing special, and we'll see how his career goes. But, he might end up being something real badass. But, we're talking initial, thoughts on this. And Shamar James out of Florida, Mike, he is drafted there in the 5th round. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the linebacker. They traded for Kenneth Murray. They got Jack Sanborn in free agency. You got Maris Luafau from Notre Dame, Joe's boy, my boy. You know how we do it. And then you got bad back Damone Clark. And you got Overshown coming off a major knee surgery too. So linebacker made sense. And they got the linebacker. Now, with being a 5th round pick, there's a backup role to this, right? Can James play special teams? That's the biggest piece to it. He has to be able to play special teams and play linebacker. If he could do that, he has a spot on this team.
Yeah, and then they always say that, right? Like if you're kind of on the outside, if you're on that bottom 10 of the roster, I would say you have to really, make the team on special teams, right? And that's what it's going to be, bro. He's probably going to have to earn his bones in special teams, and and show us something in the preseason. That's what I want to see, man. I want to see these young guys play and show me something. You know what I mean? I don't want these guys missing time and bullshitting around and not letting us see what's really under the engine, right? Cowboys typically do this crap where, it's almost like they're hiding their deficiencies. We saw it last year, Mike, where nobody was playing. It was like your bottom of the bucket players. Like they were hiding, like, we don't want to show how shitty we are. We're just going to put these guys there. I want to see people play, right? Your first teamers, I kind of, but still, I want to see some action, bro.
Yeah, you can't settle. I mean, it's football. You got to make plays, and you got to take advantage of each opportunity. If they can do that, it's good stuff.
It is good stuff, bro. And then and the next pick, Mike, after we got James, the linebacker, I like this pick, bro. And we talked about him. This was almost insider information that we gave y'all, if you remember. And this is Johnny Cornelius. You heard it from here first. We told y'all that him and Josh Connerly had a private dinner, steak dinner, filet mignon, and the whole works with Coach Connor Riley, bro. All right. A couple days after the draft, even on some of his phone interviews, Johnny Cornelius revealed this as well. So you heard it here from us first. So these are the tidbits that you get from us here. And yeah, bro, it is. I think you get a steal here with him, man. I think that supposedly it was announced as a guard. He played tackle there at Oregon, and I think he gives you good flex there, Mike. And it's good flex for your guard depth. And could he possibly even be a replacement for Doo-Doo Pants Steel, bro? What's your thought?
All right, he had 50 games under his belt between Rhode Island and Oregon. He could play outside, he could play inside, as you're saying, Joe, the guard spot. Could he be battling it out with Awesome Richards? These guys signed a lot of offensive linemen just leading up to the weeks of the draft, Joe. I like the competition. I like what Cornelius can bring here. There's a lot of work, though. There's still some untapped potential with him. Can he do it? That is the biggest thing. I am all for Steele to be replaced. Too many bad years. 100%. We defeated Nathan Thomas last year. Wonder how he's looking too. Yeah, Nathan Thomas. You got to look at the depth overall with this line. I mean, they added guys to the likes of obviously Tyler Booker, Cornelius here, Robert Jones from the Dolphins. They added the veteran Charles. They added a lot of pieces here to bolster up this line. Give me the best five. Give me the best five. I know there were some rumors about Tyler Smith moving to left tackle, but I don't know if they want to do that in a contract year. So it's going to be real interesting to see how that works. But, Cornelius out of Oregon, 6th round. Me and Joe, we told y'all about him a lot. And we were able to draft him. And all we're looking for here is competition. Could there be competition? So to recap, we talked about Tyler Booker. We talked about Donovan, the defensive end out of Boston College. We talked about Siobhan Revel, the cornerback out of East Carolina, who tore his ACL in practice last September. We talked about Jaydon Blue, the running back, the scat back type player from Texas that can come in here and be consistent. That's what we need. We talked about Shamar James, the linebacker out of Florida. Special teams, that stuff matters with the Shamar James pick. So how can that happen? And then we just talked about Cornelius. And then when Joe gets back, we'll talk about the 2 defensive tackles that they drafted and get that squared away for you guys. But so far, we got 64 people in here watching. If I can get 4 of you guys to click like for the Frisco Report, me and Joe, back at it, all right? Being consistent, trying to get things done to provide good content for you, realism content, and get that done. So 4 people, 3 people, 2 people, 1 person, click like for us. It really helps the stream. But no, why he's gone, let's the expectations, right, with Schottenheimer. You look at Schottenheimer with Clayton Adams, with Connor Riley, this offensive system, Matt Eberflus being in place. You look at things like that. Can this coaching staff get it done? That's the biggest question. Can the coaching staff get it done? AL says, love the pick. He just has to hold on to the ball. That's what it is. Mike, he said, if Jerry Jones ever sells the Cowboys, I'm straight up throwing a party. He's great content and talk. Thank you. Should they give more
Crunch? Hey, what's up, bro? Sorry, I had to take an emergency phone call here. It was my son, so had to take that. And we're back on track, Mike. We're talking about Agenine Cornelius, Mike. Good pick there. Should be able to compete. And then after that, Mike, we get another interesting pick, bro. After we go there, you know what happens next, bro? What have we been asking for many years, bro? The triple cheeseburger, the heart clogger, bro. Jay Toya, right?
Yeah, dude. 325 pounds, Joe. You want to talk about eating up space, holding blocks, something Mazi Smith can't do. This guy can do, all right? Can he, can it translate to the NFL? I don't want to, obviously, it's a 7th-round pick. There's a reason why it's a 7th-round pick. But can you get a diamond in the rough? Can you find that steal? Can you find that Jay Ratliff out of Auburn, Joe? Because that's exactly what we need. Investing in that D-line, trying different things. That's all you can ask for.
Jay Ratliff was a beast, bro. He's probably one of the best defensive tackles we've had here for already a couple of decades now. It's sad, bro. We had the one-off with Hatcher, and that was it, bro. So yeah, man, he's definitely huge. It's just gonna be hard to move. I don't know if he's as strong as Mazi. Mazi does have the power, but why does he have problem holding the weight, bro? Like they say he's like between 305 and 308 pounds. So it's like, I want my one tech to be like at minimum 320, 330, something like this, right? I don't even mind a behemoth in the 340 range. You know what I mean? Just somebody that just gets in the way, bro. Let your linebackers go to work and not get washed out, man, because these last couple of seasons, man, these guys have been getting washed out. They're getting beat up, left and right. And it's been happening for quite a while now. Our linebackers take a beating, dude. So I think it's good to have depth there at linebacker because, they don't have that guy that's kind of letting them do what they want to do, right? So I like that pick, Mike. I don't want to overrate the pick or overhype the pick because we are talking late round guys, right? And I don't want to fall into the trap of, falling for overhyping the late round guy, but some of the late round guys do hit, right? Ratliff, he was a late round guy. So
Phil Mafa's the next one, Joe. Or did you freeze? I think Joe might have froze. Or did I freeze?
Are we back? Are we back online? Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, man. It's all about that Wi-Fi, bro. It's, whether or not it wants to cooperate sometimes. But yeah, man, he is the pick there. The big behemoth, the triple cheeseburger heart clogger, bro. And then, Mike, we went into the next pick here. Phil Mafa, the running back out of Clemson, Mike. What's your thoughts on him?
6'1". You know me. They got to be 6 foot or bigger at running back, Joe. 230 pounds. You look at Jaydon Blue. You look at that scat back type of mentality, a lot of speed. Then you look at Phil Mafa here, 6'1", 230 bruiser back, kind of different worlds of running back style. And you look at his stats here, 1,115 yards and 8 touchdowns. I like the competition. Can he, if he wants a starting spot, he has to be able to play special teams, right? Just like Shamar James. Can he work that into his repertoire? And can he impress in the preseason? That's what it boils down to.
That's what I heard. I think it was Broadus was saying that Mafa is not a special teamers guy.
Ooh.
And that will be something that he will have to be if he wants any chance of making this roster, Mike. I have him slated as a practice squad guy. You know what I mean? I think he's just straight ahead at running back. He's not going to give you that slashing kind of deal. He's not going to go on the outside, take it outside. You know what I mean? He's in between the tackles, guards, this type of thing. So, I mean, he can get it done. You know what I mean? But Cowboys typically getting the really big running back, they don't do it that often. We've had like Bo Burrow here, and he didn't do shit, bro. He didn't. I don't even think he made the team. Maybe practice squad. I don't remember, dude. But
no, he got cut and he went to the Lions.
Yeah, he got super overhyped at the time. So We'll see, bro. You never know. You know, I'm not going to say that he won't make the team, but it's going to be uphill battle for him to make the team because they've got their vets, they've got Jaydon Blue, and the one running back that really pisses me off is Deuce Vaughn, bro. We saw Malik Davis get cut today, bro, over Deuce Vaughn. Nepotism is holding the running back room back, bro. They have to get rid of Deuce Vaughn this season, bro. But will they? I don't think so, bro. He's gonna stick around until that contract finishes, man. That's what I'm afraid of, Mike. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, you look at you want to talk about special teams player. Malik Davis was just that. That's why he stuck around for so long. It's because you can elevate him from that practice squad. And you don't have to worry about who's out there playing special teams. I mean, you look at last year with the Bengals, game on the line, season on the line. You put a knucklehead player in there, and it costs you the game, right? With Malik Davis, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. And so with Deuce Vaughn, a guy that can't even play special teams, I get it being at the bottom of the depth chart, being stashed on the practice squad. I get it. But come on, this is the first time I've heard this, so I'm kind of upset.
And even when Deuce Vaughn was on the practice squad, you know what I mean, because he has been on and off the practice squad as well. Nobody picked him up, bro. You know, and nobody said, "Oh, I want that little bitty midgety little dude right there on my team." Nobody snatched him up, bro.
Roster garbage. Is always when they're going to take out the trash. That's just what it is. Quit holding on to this roster garbage.
Yeah, that's what it is, unfortunately, man. So, hopefully Malik will catch on somewhere else. I think he will. He's a physical run style, I think, is good. You know, him and Damian Pierce, when they were playing at Florida, they were an awesome tandem, dude. So he has that in him. So let's see where he lands. Mike, the Cowboys, they close out the draft by drafting a defensive tackle out of Maryland. Tommy Akeem Basote. All right. This dude is big as well. I think he's more of a three-tech kind of guy. So, he'll be in the mix, with Solomon Thomas. Obviously, Osa is your number one there. Does this guy make the team?
Probably not. I mean, the addition of Justin Rogers, bringing him back, says a lot of what they thought of Justin Rogers. So he'll probably get more reps over Tommy than anything. So barring injuries, something like that, I don't even know if this guy makes practice squad. He has to stick out and be better than Quentin Bohanna was in a sense. So a lot of competition for this guy to start. Does he have the mindset to go climb it and try to go be something?
Yeah, man. If shows something in the preseason where it makes it very hard for the Cowboys to make a decision on him, I think he'll at least at the minimum be on the practice squad. But to make the 53, it'll be interesting to see how many defensive tackles they carry this year. You know what I mean? Will it just be 4? Will it be 5? I don't think it'll be 6. So they tend to go a little light there, right? So it will be hard for him to make it. So I'm hoping that he does show something for us. Maybe one of those end of the draft diamonds in the rough type of dudes. But yeah, man, we'll see how he looks, bro.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's 90 guys. Give me the best 53 out of them 90. You got to build this thing up somewhere. I just can't believe they cut Malik Davis. I'm still. Well, I can get it. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But over Deuce Vaughn is crazy work.
That's what the situation there was created by the Cowboys. Now it becomes an awkward situation where, you have one of your top scout there, right? In Vaughn, right? Like, oh, don't cut my son. It just makes the whole situation awkward, and it's almost like, is this dude uncuttable at this point, dude? So I hope that's not the case. I hope they keep the right running backs here on the roster. At this point, bro, honestly, just because I'm so annoyed by the whole nepotism part of it, I want to see Phil Mafa beat him out, dude. That is now my goal. Phil Mafa, take Deuce Vaughn's spot, please. Like that's not what that is what I want to happen now, dude. You know,
I mean, right? I mean, I just don't understand where they. And Schottenheimer knows better. They tried him as slot receiver. They were doing all these different position things, trying to get him acclimated to different things.
Right.
And Schottenheimer was the offensive coordinator in that progression. So Schottenheimer knows what he has. It ain't like it's an external coach coming in for it. Dude, what is Schottenheimer, like I said in the draft, play-by-play war room, no spine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his voice doesn't carry much. It might be one of the least that we've seen here. I mean, McCarthy had a voice. Garrett, had a voice, surprisingly. Sean, I mean, I don't know if it's a first year type of thing, but hopefully we see a little bit more from him because that ain't going to get it done. Mike Bellerman, Mike, a super chat. Mazi is also roster garbage. He's worse than Taco.
Yeah. No, Mike, thank you for the super chat. He's definitely roster garbage as well. When are the Cowboys gonna man up and just get rid of this trash, man?
He is in year 3, and I think this is the last hurrah for him. So he has to know, like, this is it for me. You know what I mean? And catch on, bro. What if he actually looks like crap in camp and in the preseason? What if he's one of these dudes that shows up out of shape or something like this? Like, how much more do you keep him?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on the patience of the new tackle coach or the new D-line coach. How much patience does he have? What kind of plan do they put together for Mazi? They're about to see. I think there are players already in the building, so is Mazi sticking to that plan? He wasn't a draft day trade, or there's no discussion of it. If there is, they're keeping it very under wraps there. But no, I just don't understand. How do you salvage what's left out of Mazi? I don't think you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully they get something from him. I mean, he came in here with a lot of hype, But the crazy thing about it was they didn't show too many clips of him making big plays. It was always him doing that, that lifting that 700 pounds or whatever the hell it was. That was like his major hype, was like 700 pounds. And like, that's all you really saw, man. Like, I wanted to see plays on the field, bro. And they just didn't have too much of those clips in him.
He can pick up weight, but he can't pull his weight on the field.
Yeah. And there's a little bit something to be said about if your coach is in the NFL, and doesn't say many things about the player. I was reading an article where they had asked Harbaugh about Mazi, and he just said he wished him luck, to have a successful career. He didn't say anything about, oh man, he's a great player. He's gonna do this and that. Like, it was real real ambiguous, bro, which I thought was odd. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you look at what Mazi Smith did after he got drafted. Of course, he's already making instant millions, but he didn't forget. He didn't pay any rent allegedly on a storage building. Let it default. Had to auction it off. A lot of college. So if you have that mindset of screw it, I'm going this way. I'm not going to pay you anymore. I mean, that's somebody's living, and he didn't care anything about it. Just left it there. That speaks on character.
That's what it is, right? That's what it is, character. And supposedly that was something that the Cowboys were very high on in their draft evaluations this year was character. Is this going back to the Garrett Wright kind of guy type of mentality? If so, are we going to get less dogs on this team? That was always the thing here with Garrett. Was like, we don't have enough dogs. but we do have the right kind of guys, right? So it's always kind of that thin line, that gray area, right? Like you want to have dogs, but you don't want to have knuckleheads, right?
100%. I mean, you look at the knuckleheads of Randy Gregory, the knuckleheads of Kelvin Joseph, Mazi Smith, Taco, like just a bunch of knucklehead business. Like the way Tyler Booker has been described to me is he wants people to hate football. Mazi Smith don't even love football. There's the difference. That's the difference right there.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, bro. I want to see these guys get into it in camp, bro. Like I want to see, you know, I don't know if he'll line up, you know, in front of in front of Booker or not, but I would like to see that. You know, I would like to see that matchup. You know what I mean? I want to see what Booker does against Osa Odigizua, the wrestler. You know what I mean? Because you know, Osa, he does have that in his background. He plays with good leverage. He knows how to manipulate slower guards, which that's kind of one of the knocks on Booker is that he's a little bit slower, not as athletic. You know what I mean? So that's going to be interesting to watch in camp, Mike. I'll be paying close attention to that. Very much.
No, 100%. You know, if Chevelle could come in here and compete at camp, which is probably looking like he is, I want to see. I want Chevelle on CeeDee Lamb day one. Third round pick, a lot of potential there to be the best corner in the draft potentially, minus the injury. Go cover CeeDee Lamb first week of training camp. Let me see how you do. That's what I want. Feed them to the wolves.
I want me some glory hole.
Bro, it's going to be interesting. We're about, you know, they're going to hit up rookie minicamp. We'll be here just days away. You know, we're hitting it up here in May, right? So, and then you'll get the vets joining the rookies. So there'll be some good stuff coming out of this. You know what I mean? Undrafted guys, you know, who will be the darling this year? Supposedly they paid the Syracuse undrafted guy the most money. So follow the money. They paid him the most. And then you have our wide receiver coach. You have the connection there to Trayshawn Holden. You know what I mean? Does he make the team as a receiver here? You know what I mean? He had some good plays there at Oregon with that coach. So I could see why they brought him in here as an undrafted guy. But every year, Mike, there's a wide receiver that everybody loves. You know, will this be the year that we finally hit on an undrafted wide receiver?
Hey, when we look at the history of undrafted free agents, Cowboys have a good list of a bunch of Pro Bowlers, you know, really standing out, getting a big payday, you know, after the 4 years is up. So they didn't even sign that many undrafted guys because they spent a lot of resources on these veterans and these bridge players type. So their signings list is very small from previous years. But hey, if you're on a roster, you have a chance. Go be great.
Indeed. We rarely ever hit on wide receivers undrafted. And it's true, right? So, but there's always a lot of hype around these guys because I think fans are just begging for, you know, we want a really badass wide receiver core, and we just don't have it right now. So we're looking like under every rock, you know, we're looking for somebody show up, somebody and beat Miles Austin. I think is Miles Austin and Beasley. These two dudes are the most recent, and that seems like many years ago already, Mike. That feels like, damn, I mean, it might be over 15 years. It's been a while, man, right?
Yeah, no, it has been a while. You know, I think the last undrafted guy they hit on was Terrence Steele for a year. 1 year wonder. But
1 year wonder, 1 year blunder. But yeah, that guy made the team out of nowhere. I didn't even have him on my 53. And he was a 53 and ended up starting over there. And we've seen some weird stuff around here, man. So you just never know. But I'm hoping that one of these dudes does hit, though. You know what I mean? Because Do we trust these guys making a trade for receiver is the other part of this deal, Mike, because they tend to overpay. You know what I mean? And they tend to even sometimes get the wrong. I mean, look what they did with Mingo. You know what I mean? That was a total screw up.
I'm going to be honest with you, Joe. The Mingo trade was Jerry's ego, 100%. He pulled the trigger on Trey Lance. Trey Lance went out and threw 5 interceptions in a preseason game. A week later, Dak Prescott's extended. Trey Lance didn't get to see the field until it was time for a Cooper rush to get the extra money. Jerry said, no, play Trey Lance. Trey Lance is gone. So Jerry was like, I'm going to try it again with Mingo. It has to work. It has to work. This was Jerry Jones' ego trade because the Trey Lance deal did not work.
Did Dak Prescott slide some money under the table to Trey Lance and say, hey, man, do me a solid, throw a bunch of damn interceptions so we'll get this deal pushed through? Is that possible?
Hey, Trey Lance did say him, Dak, and Cooper Rush went on a big fishing trip, and Dak paid for everything.
I'm just kidding, obviously, but damn, that's funny though. It's funny, like that was really that literally pushed the contract through, bro. Like, oh man, this guy ain't it, bro. You know what I mean? So they're still lowballing the quarterback position. I think Joe Milton can be a good quarterback, and I think he will play this year. Dak probably will get hurt. Whether it's a calf strain or some kind of bull crap, he'll probably play a game or so. At the minimum. But again, Mike, they have the longest drought in the entire NFL for quarterback in the first round. Unbelievable. It's pre-internet, pre-cell phone, bro.
Yeah,
yeah. It's crazy,
Jerry doesn't know how to scout players. Troy was already there when he bought the team, wasn't he?
No, they drafted. That's the last quarterback they drafted in the first round.
So, but Jerry had no insight of players and decisions on drafting, did he? I'm sure he had the GM role, but he didn't have any
It was Jimmy. Jimmy ran it, bro. Jimmy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Jerry doesn't know how to evaluate quarterbacks, and I don't think anybody trusts Will McClay to do that.
That's the thing, bro. They really don't have somebody in-house to evaluate quarterbacks. That's why they keep going with these day 3 cross fingers, see if you can hit on somebody type of dude. So we'll see what happens there, man. We got another super chat here. I want Archie Manning in 1 to 2 years' time. Yeah, so everybody will. Everybody will probably want to give up the kitchen to get him. Will he come out in 2026? There's a feeling that, and Longhorn fans are saying this too, that they don't see him leaving after this season. So it could be 2 years before he comes out. But either way, when he does, if he has the genes of the other Mannings, it's going to be well sought after, for sure.
100%. Give me Archie Manning all day long. But in order to get Archie Manning, Joe, we got to go 0-17, 1-16. That guarantees you Archie Manning.
Yeah, you got to have a disastrous season, and if not, you got to have draft picks, multiple first round picks to possibly trade with whoever that number 1 team is. So, and we don't have that.
And they're not going to do that.
They're not. They really aren't, bro. These guys have. We talk about this all the time, Mike. We talk about draft history, draft tendencies. A lot of fans don't really look at that, or they look away from that. That's not real. They do, man. This team really does have patterns, tendencies that they stick with, Mike. They put it on full display in this draft, Mike.
Yeah. No, they did. They did. I don't know why so many people were looking at wide receiver when there's already in the first round. Now, we looked at wide receiver in the second, third, and so on.
Yeah.
They're not going to draft a wide receiver in the first round. If 88 is not available, they're not going to draft a receiver. Look at the trend.
Yeah.
It's there.
That is the trend. That's the history, and it's every 10 years, like you said, Mike. And in between those 10 years, they'll make an in-season trade and throw multiple picks at somebody. So that's why, CeeDee Lamb has been here 5 years already. So that's half of the 10 years. They will make a trade somewhere between this season and at the end of CeeDee's contract, or at another 4 years for some receiver.
Right.
A first and a third.
And what are they doing right now, Joe? They're already talking about possibly trading for a wide receiver.
They are. So it falls right in line with what they do.
And what we said.
Yeah. So watch for it. Let's see. The thing is, I hope they don't give up what they have normally given. That's another pattern. They normally give up multiple picks, a first and a third. They have kind of set the market, the Cowboys have, because they're always doing these trades. Like, whether it's Roy Williams or Amari, it's always a first and a third, a first and a third and a fifth, or some crap like that. So, if it's for a wide receiver, it better be damn worth it. It better be a high-end dude,
Yeah. No, it better be playmaking ability where your quarterback could get instant chemistry.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Marcus, I have them available. $5 if you want to buy one. I have them on sale. The one that Mike has is the standard white and navy. The ones that I have in stock right now are with foil. So you got the white with the blue foil, or you have the blue with the white foil. So let me know. Hit me up offline, and I can get that out to you, bro.
Yeah, right there. Good quality too.
That's what it is, bro. But Mike, I think that's all we have tonight. A great show. Went over the picks here, and now we're on to hype season, bro. Are you ready for it?
Oh no, I'm not. It's worse than the off-season videos now. This time of year, the shirt off, running through tires. Oh my God, he's gonna be a Pro Bowl. He's gonna go in the Hall of Fame this year. He's not even retired yet.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious. Like some of the comments, like he'll be doing a deadlift. Oh, dude, this guy's gonna have 15 sacks this year. Or Sam Williams is back. Look at that. It's like, nah, man.
Dude, I seen a video of Des Bryant. I think he's like 38 now. He was running routes with nobody, there wasn't a single person in front of him. He was running. Oh my God, Des Bryant can still play. Put Des Bryant in front of 11 guys and let me see if you still get the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. It is a lot of. I mean, it's fun to look at, but to come up with,
overhype it, man.
Yeah, and it does. It gets high, and then people make videos on them like clickbaits, right? So, it'll happen again, but I'm not falling for it, bro. I personally have put training camp into that as well, because it's you see little clips of people getting beat, fights. Oh, this guy did this play here. I want to see it in the preseason. Then we can talk about, something here. You know what I mean? But Mike, I think that's all we have tonight, Mike. Let me know if you have anything else before we close out, bro.
No, man. This is the new Cowboys Corner headquarters. Bear with me as I work through this. Joe's seen some before and after just from the first day. I had to get this done today for the show today. If this didn't get done, there would be no show. So had to go in overtime mode for Joe and get it done.
He's in the building.
That's my boy. That's Cowboys Corner, man. He's in the house. Can't do this without you, Mike. We really do appreciate it, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat box, everybody that's watching this live or on the replay. Hit that like button, follow button on your way out, subscribe, and we'll see you guys for the next video, guys. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Oh, bro, I'm low-key